Did you feel that? The most powerful supermoon has impacted your life, and no one told you. The night of August 19, 2024, where were you? This celestial phenomenon affected each of us, stirring our emotions and bringing up memories and feelings you might not even have known still existed. It may seem strange, but the awakened ones already know. They felt this energy and knew how to harness it. While many simply admired the beauty in the sky, others tapped into something deeper, something that transformed how they view life. If you felt a restlessness, an inexplicable urge to change, or a weight that seemed to come from nowhere, know this: it wasn't by chance. And don't think you missed this event in August 2024. With me, you'll discover how to take advantage of this energy that hit us and resonates on Earth. This is the moment to understand what really happened and use this energy to your benefit. Because this supermoon did not pass in vain, and if you are here, ready to learn, you've already taken the first step to connect with this powerful force. Before we begin, take a moment to check your subscription to the channel. This way, you ensure you'll receive the upcoming videos I'll bring with astronomical events and revelations that can transform your life and help you understand the energies around you. Don't miss a single detail. Each video will bring valuable insights and great advantages to your life. For those who felt or usually feel this restlessness and want to deepen their understanding of their true purpose in the universe, I've left a book in the first pinned comment called The Forbidden Secrets of the Mind: 7 Techniques to Unlock Your Hidden Potential and Transform Your Reality. With it, you'll gain access to profound knowledge that can guide you in self-discovery and awakening. Take this opportunity and grab your book now before it runs out. A silent invitation in the sky. The moon was so close to Earth that it seemed to reach the impossible. Anyone looking at the sky that night was overwhelmed by a sense of enchantment, as if by reaching out their hand, they could truly touch its silver surface. This was the supermoon's silent invitation, a presence so grand that it transcended mere observation. It was a call to connect, as if it were saying, "Look at me, feel my presence." It was not just an ordinary full moon. Its glow had an almost hypnotic intensity, bathing everything around in a silver and magical light. That unusual brightness spread everywhere, illuminating dark streets, open fields, distant mountains, and even vast oceans. Every leaf on the trees, every blade of grass, every edge of the sidewalk, all seemed to shine with a new vitality under that surreal and almost supernatural light. The moon was, in that moment, revealing a rare side of itself, as if it wanted everyone to notice and understand the power of its presence. It was as if nature and the city gained a mysterious tone, reflecting the grandeur of that celestial phenomenon. On the beaches, the spectacle was even more impressive. The waves seemed to respond to the call of the moon, as if each one rose and fell in a rhythm guided by its force. The ocean was in a special dance, feeling the powerful pull of the supermoon. Those watching the shoreline noticed something unusual. The tides were more intense, rising higher and falling lower in an almost wild motion. It was as if the sea itself was trying to draw closer to the moon, extending its waters in a kind of cosmic embrace. Some people on the shore watched the phenomenon with fascination, not fully understanding what they were witnessing. For them, it was just a night of choppy seas, but in reality, that spectacle was a response of the waters to what was happening in the sky above. That unusual tide was not just a natural movement, but rather a reverence of the ocean to the force present in the supermoon. The night of feelings, reflection, and transformation. Meanwhile, in cities and villages, many people began to feel an internal agitation they couldn't explain. It was as if the intense glow of the supermoon had touched a deep and forgotten part of their feelings. Those who walked alone under the moonlight that night may have sensed a peculiar mix of calm and anxiety, a state difficult to define, but one that seemed to bring forth thoughts and emotions that normally remain hidden. This combination of peace and restlessness made them feel a call to stop and look within, as if they were being led to confront issues they had long avoided. The energy of the moon seemed to be everywhere, a subtle yet palpable force, mixed with the silver glow that dominated the sky. Some described this energy as a light weight, surrounding them like a silent embrace, while others reported feeling a slight pressure, almost like an invitation to connect more deeply with their own thoughts. For many, that night became an opportunity to review choices, to reassess the path of their own lives, as if the presence of the supermoon had opened a door to a reflection that had previously seemed distant and hard to access. For some, it was a night of insomnia, where sleep seemed an unwelcome visitor, constantly pushed away by the luminous presence of the moon. Instead of tossing and turning in bed, these people got up to watch the sky or even to jot down thoughts that came without warning, like insights into desires and dreams they hadn't revisited in a long time. There was an almost irresistible urge to record these reflections, to put into words what the heart had been holding. Others felt an unexpected desire to meditate, to sit in silence and let the energy of that night, guided by the supermoon, help them find peace. The supermoon in August was not just a beautiful night on the calendar. It was a subtle yet profoundly significant reminder that certain celestial events have the power to stir the deepest parts within each of us. For those who paid attention, even if just for a moment, there was a kind of silent invitation from the moon, as if it were saying, "Look within, find what is true in you." And so the night of August 19th passed, silent and powerful, but unforgettable for those who fully experienced it. It left a trace of magic and introspection, an echo that persisted long after the moon disappeared in the sky, lingering in hearts as a gentle reminder that sometimes it is necessary to stop and listen to what the greater forces have to tell us. For those who felt this silent call of the moon and wish to go deeper in the quest for what is true within themselves, I've left an exclusive book in the first pinned comment for you to grab. The book, The Forbidden Secrets of the Mind, 7 Techniques to Unlock Your Hidden Potential and Transform Your Reality is available for you. With it, you will find knowledge that can guide your inner awakening. Take this opportunity and get your book now, before it runs out. Reconnections with the past. Rediscovered memories and emotions. On that night, illuminated by the supermoon, something silent and powerful began to happen within those who were attentive, a subtle yet profound transformation. The intense and constant light seemed to carry a presence, a force that seemed to whisper as if inviting us to search through our own inner corners. It was not just the reflection of the moon in the sky, it was a reflection within us. The supermoon, with its silent majesty, not only moved the tides of the oceans, but seemed to pull to the surface emotional tides hidden deep within each person. For those who allowed themselves to dive into the intensity of that night, long-forgotten memories began to emerge. The moon, with its bright and revealing glow, seemed to illuminate parts of us that typically remain in the shadows, awakening memories that once seemed locked away. Some people were taken back to old passions, dreams that held the energy of youth, desires that had been set aside over time amid the routines and obligations of adult life. It was as if the moon, in all its grandeur, was offering the chance to reclaim these forgotten parts, giving them new life under its light. Even if you didn't notice the supermoon at that moment, something may have changed in you. Perhaps an unexpected memory, a feeling coming from nowhere, or even a desire to revisit a forgotten dream. Share in the comments. Did you notice anything different in the past few days? Or do you notice anything different in other supermoons? How do you understand this lunar influence in our lives? Writing about it can bring new clarity, as well as inspire others to connect with their own experiences and discoveries. I look forward to your comment. I want to hear from you. Some found themselves thinking about specific moments from childhood, the carefree laughter with friends, the ambitious and naive plans for the future, the infinite curiosity about the world. For others, it was more personal and emotional memories, like old loves, transformative experiences, or even challenges overcome. These thoughts, usually suppressed by the daily hustle, surfaced that night, as if time had paused for a moment so they could be relived with clarity. The emotions connected to these memories, joy, nostalgia, even a hint of regret, came with unexpected intensity. Some felt compelled to write about these memories, grabbing old notebooks or opening notes on their phones, trying to capture what was emerging in their minds like a wave that couldn't be contained. For others, it was enough to close their eyes and let the images take shape, each one more vivid than the last. The memories floated like glimpses of a past that felt close, almost tangible, under the attentive and silent gaze of the moon. That night, the supermoon created a perfect setting for reconnecting with who we truly are, with what once moved and inspired us. This intense light offered those willing to observe an opportunity to reconnect with desires and dreams that had long been left behind. The sky, illuminated by that powerful moon, was a canvas where these memories and emotions projected, reminding us that what truly matters remains with us, even when it seems forgotten. A flame of inspiration, artistic creation awakens. In other homes, people sat by the window, gazing at the sky as if hypnotized, feeling a kind of calmness they couldn't explain. It was a night conducive to meditation, reflection, and even those honest conversations with oneself that we almost never have time for. Some wrote down thoughts they couldn't express in spoken words, pouring onto the paper feelings and ideas brought to the surface by that bright presence in the sky. Long-stored journals were opened, the blank pages filled with reflections on what truly mattered, about the paths taken and the choices left behind. For those in tune with that energy, the supermoon brought a sudden awakening of intuition. Vague thoughts and feelings that once seemed scattered now gained form and clarity. Some felt a renewed courage, as if that intense light were pushing away doubts and uncertainties, revealing the next step they needed to take. Some decided to forgive old grievances, while others felt an urge to revisit something they had set aside. The moon, in its silent wisdom, seemed to guide each person toward what needed to be faced or rediscovered. Many were deeply moved. There were tears, introspective smiles, long sighs, as if each person had been touched in a different way by this mysterious moon. It brought a unique chance for transformation to those willing to dive into themselves and accept what their own hearts were revealing. Under the light of the supermoon, that night was marked by intimate and powerful moments, by discoveries, and by the feeling that somehow, something was about to change. And so, the moon continued its course, rising higher in the sky, silently observing the internal journeys it had helped to initiate. Gradually, it hid behind the clouds, leaving behind a trail of calm and depth. The night passed, but for those who felt and lived the magic of that moment, nothing would be the same again. That night, the supermoon not only illuminated the sky, and stirred the innermost feelings of many people. Its presence was so powerful that it impacted even the waters of the planet. On the coastlines, the moon seemed to call the ocean closer, extending its waves like arms seeking to embrace the earth. On various beaches, the tides rose and fell unexpectedly, revealing landscapes and secrets that usually remained hidden beneath the waters. In coastal regions, residents and fishermen noticed the change, but few associated the phenomenon with the bright moon dominating the sky. To them, it seemed like an unusually high tide, advancing over the sand with a special force, washing the beaches and leaving a trail of white foam that sparkled under the glow of the supermoon. In the marinas, boats rocked more than usual, as if being pulled by an invisible force. Experienced fishermen, accustomed to the sea and its changes, gazed at the horizon in astonishment, commenting to each other about the strange movement of the waters, while the moon's silver reflection rippled on the surface, as if dancing in sync with the ebb and flow of the tides. On some secluded beaches, where few ventured that night, the low tides revealed sandbanks and small natural pools that were usually hidden. Rocks, shells, and even forgotten pieces of shipwrecks were discovered, appearing like ancient treasures laid bare only for those willing to contemplate that spectacle up close. There was a mystery in the air, something that could only be sensed by those who dared to stay there, on the shore, watching the waters being shaped by the moon's magical influence. The coastal wildlife also seemed to adapt to this subtle change. Crabs, normally hidden during the night, emerged in search of food on the beaches, guided by the low tide and the silver light that made the night almost as bright as day. Seabirds, alert and restless, hovered over the shoreline, taking advantage of the opportunities brought by the unusual waters. It was as if all of nature around was in tune with the invisible power the moon radiated. For some more observant residents, that different tide seemed like a portent, a reminder that just as the moon moves the oceans, it can also move our deepest feelings and thoughts. Some said that the sea, in responding to the moon, also showed us that everything is connected, that we are part of a great cycle, and that greater forces guide us, even if in the hustle and bustle of everyday life, this goes unnoticed. When dawn came to an end and the moon began to retreat from the sky, the movement of the tides started to calm. The waters returned to their usual rhythm, as if the ocean had received its message and could now rest. But for those who witnessed the spectacle, that night would be remembered as a moment when the sky and sea conversed, and where, for a brief instant, everything seemed to be part of an ancient and mysterious dance, conducted by the moon in its most powerful phase. When the supermoon faded and the sky returned to its usual darkness, it was as if an invisible portal had closed. That intense light that had shone so close and grand had departed, leaving a void in the sky, but something inside each of us seemed different, even if subtly and almost imperceptibly. The powerful energy of that night lingered, hovering like a vivid memory for those who were touched by it, but also as a silent change for those who didn't realize it. The message of the moon, an invitation to change. In the days that followed, some noticed a slight transformation in their state of mind. Those who often felt lost or stuck in a routine may have experienced a new desire to explore and create, as if a spark of inspiration had been ignited, even without knowing where it came from. Long-delayed projects were finally resumed, and forgotten ideas regained relevance. The presence of the supermoon awakened something many had left behind: old dreams, dormant passions, and even the desire to live more fully and authentically. In moments of silence, many found themselves reflecting on life and their own paths. It was as if that night had thrown a question into the air, a query about who we are and what we truly seek. People who usually avoided confronting these reflections now felt encouraged to face these questions, even if only in fleeting thoughts during moments of distraction. For some, this change brought an urge to reconnect with lost friends, revive relationships that had worn thin, or even forgive old grievances. It was as if the moon, with its immense glow, had illuminated what once seemed hidden. In the cities, some artists, painters, musicians, writers described a different energy enveloping them, a renewed creative impulse, as if a silent and profound voice had emerged, bringing inspiration for new creations. Poets spoke of verses that seemed to come from nowhere, springing forth spontaneously as if they were ancient secrets revealed under the moonlight. Their words now carried weight, a cadence, a truth that had previously felt unattainable, giving their poems a touching and almost mystical depth. For musicians, the songs flowed with an inexplicable intensity, each note filled with emotions and meanings that transcended ordinary melodies. The sound seemed to echo not only in the instruments, but within their very souls, as if they were translating the moon's whisper into music. Some felt as though a cosmic symphony guided them, making every chord and every verse a bridge to something greater. Painters, for their part, noticed their brushes gliding across the canvases with unusual fluidity, as if guided by a force that surpassed rational understanding. Colors, shapes, and strokes emerged almost automatically, creating images imbued with symbolism and emotion. It was as if the supermoon had left a magical touch in their hands and hearts, opening doors to a new creative flow. This energy seemed to allow them to explore themes that had once been mere vague intuitions, transforming them into works of art that reflected the depth of the moment, as if each brushstroke revealed a piece of the soul. For all these artists, the supermoon had done more than just illuminate the sky. It had been a silent muse, a reminder that the universe has its own ways of inspiring, like a beacon for the most intimate feelings and ideas to finally find expression. A moment of peace, connection with something greater. For those with a more contemplative heart, the sight of the supermoon was an invitation to something beyond the gaze. Many who paused to observe it that night described an inexplicable feeling of connection to something greater, a presence that seemed to surpass the physical glow of the moon. Those who allowed themselves to contemplate that intense and mysterious light felt a profound moment of calm, as if every worry or daily tension were dissolved in the serenity of that special night. In the moments of silence spent gazing at the moon, many were led to pray or meditate, as if that were the only natural response to the grandeur of the sky. It was if the supermoon provided a real closeness to the cosmos, as if we were in tune with the very order of the universe. Those moments of connection brought a deep sense of peace, a relief that seemed to arise from nowhere, but filled every empty space of restlessness. Under the silver light of the moon, all the usual problems seemed to shrink, losing the weight they normally carried. For some, this moment of contemplation brought a feeling of silent protection, as if the moon, even at an immeasurable distance, were there to watch over and guide, offering comfort. There was an almost intuitive certainty that no matter how uncertain the times were, something eternal remained present, a force that always returns, always stable, bringing light to the darkest moments. This feeling was described as a constant reminder that even in the most difficult phases, there is something that illuminates and supports us from afar, an invisible source of security. Those minutes of connection were more than a simple observation of the sky. Many who experienced this peace reported, in the days that followed, a lasting tranquility, a renewed hope that reminded them of the vastness and mystery of existence. It was as if the universe had responded to each of them in a unique and personal way, reminding them that despite uncertainties and challenges, we are part of something greater and more meaningful. If you've made it this far in the video, give it a like and let me know. If this content has brought you peace or inspiration, hit that like button now. This way, I know you enjoy this type of content, and I'll continue bringing more themes that connect you to the mystery and grandeur of the universe. The supermoon and its invisible marks, lasting memories. The days that followed that supermoon night became more than just simple dates on the calendar. They were like a silent echo, a constant reminder of something deep and transformative. Those who witnessed that magical night began to perceive the world around them with a new sensitivity. Walking through the streets, a mundane task, now felt like a different experience. There was a new depth in simple things. The sky at sunset, the rustling of leaves in the wind, even the shadows of trees seemed to speak a language that had previously gone unnoticed. It was as if the supermoon had revealed an invisible web of connections among everything that exists, a tapestry that united nature, people, and the mysteries of the cosmos. Daily interactions also gained a new quality. The smiles of strangers, the small greetings, the way people looked at each other, all seemed to carry a greater significance. Some felt that this experience had planted a sense that somehow everyone was connected by something subtle and immense, something that transcended words and could only be felt. This perception, this shared secret, was a reminder that there was more to be understood, an invisible connection linking the souls touched by the light of the supermoon. Even when everyday life returned to normal and the supermoon became just a memory, it left invisible marks on the hearts of everyone who was touched by its presence. The experience didn't need to be spoken or discussed to remain alive. It was a deep feeling, a mark that became a silent part of each person. The supermoon had been a gentle call, a whisper from the universe reminding us that from time to time, we need to slow down, observe, and listen. It revealed the beauty of looking up at the sky and recognizing that although it may seem distant, it also speaks to us. And speaking of speaking to us, what has the sky been whispering to you lately? Share in the comments what you understand about this feeling of connection and mystery that touches our lives. It could be a recent experience, a memory, or simply what you feel when you look at the sky. By sharing, you may inspire others to reconnect with the peace that the universe offers us. That memorable night was a reminder that there are mysteries that only the skies know how to reveal, and that the world around us continues to change, guided by greater and older forces than we can understand. Each person touched by the light of that immense moon carried with them a new perspective, a feeling of belonging to the whole. What once seemed distant was now close. What once seemed ordinary was now extraordinary. The supermoon, with its intense glow, had opened a door to greater understanding, and even when the sky returned to its usual darkness, the memory of that magical night continued to illuminate hearts, like a spark of something eternal. For those who felt that spark of something eternal and want to deepen that understanding, remember that I left an exclusive book for you in the first pinned comment. The Forbidden Secrets of the Mind, 7 techniques to unlock your hidden potential and transform your reality. Grab yours now before it runs out. To continue deepening your knowledge and strengthening your journey, explore the other videos on the channel. Each piece of content I've made available here on the screen for you will guide you further on this mission and help you unlock your true potential. Let's grow together with every step. Thank you for watching this far. Subscribe to the channel and continue receiving our upcoming content. Until the next video.